Hi guys, Mike Ford here from Back to Balance. Today I'm going to be talking about how to stretch to avoid gardening pain. Summer's coming, spring is here, well, hopefully if the weather holds. One of the important things before going out into the garden and doing all of the chores that you need to do, and that actually I find really enjoyable, is making sure your body's prepared for that. Now, we talk a lot about adaptability, we talk a lot about trying to ensure that you don't do any movement that is beyond your body's capacity at that point. One of the really great things about stretching is you're testing out the movements before you do them. You know, we're going to talk about a lot of stretches today, 3 or 4 really core ones that will in some way replicate what you'll be doing out there, weeding, moving around, and ensure that when you do it, you're not relying upon your back to have all that flexibility, but rather you are using the legs, using the quads, and making sure that your movement technique is correct. Okay, so gardening first. Why is it great? Stress release sometimes. Really great physical activity. Amazing to be outside. Great for vitamin D. It's shown that being connected with nature, having a garden, having some meaningful work to do in your spare time, all of these things are huge for both the psychological aspect of wellness and also the physical aspect of wellness. The advantages of gardening are sometimes outweighed by when you will go out, you'll have a good time gardening, you'll overdo a little bit because there's a lot to be done. 3-4 days later you're still in pain, sometimes weeks later you're still in pain. To avoid that, what we do is we use stretching. Stretching is asking the body to progressively lengthen muscles. It's asking the body to adapt and change so that it can deal with the stresses of gardening. And I think we should just kind of get into what it actually does. Stretching, by lengthening my muscle here, by pulling my wrist down, I'm lengthening this muscle that goes through here. Now this muscle controls this action of pulling the wrist up. With me pushing down, I'm lengthening it. Now my muscle will have a passive level of resistance to this. If I'm very tight and stressed, it will be a lot and it will resist me a lot, and I feel like my wrist only stops moving at that stage. Now, if I then breathe and relax and tell this muscle it's okay and I can move, it will allow me a little further. And the amount further it will allow me is dependent on its health. If you've got a really beaten up and bruised muscle, it won't relax very easily. If you've got a muscle that is much more stable, then it will relax much more easily. If it's well hydrated, if it's got good magnesium levels, these things really affect it. Now you can take baths before, Epsom salts baths before you stretch or before you go to sleep the night before to encourage that mobility in it. But unless you ask, it will never allow for that extra bit. Now if I'm then bending over to pick something up and my muscles of my hamstrings and my glutes aren't allowing for that movement, much of it will be coming from the back, and that's where serious disc injury and general injury occurs. So, techniques. Well, so what we're going to do is link in now several images and several videos of different stretches. These are the hamstring stretch, the quadricep stretch, the rolling / self-massage technique. We'll do another video of that coming up. And squats and lunges are one that we wouldn't consider a stretch, but more a dynamic warm-up. So this is something that you'll have to be doing in any case, but having the right technique on that, having the right technique on lunge is important. Now, we already have videos of these up, so as I say, links in the description, or the links that we've popped in the screen. Implementing your stretches is as easy as spending 10 minutes doing. You know, if you find something stiff and sore, this is when it takes a little bit longer because you want to loosen that out before you progress with your day. And it will save you, you know, not being able to do it the day after. Asking questions in the comments rather, we'll respond to as many as possible. If you need assistance or if you're going out gardening and you're worried that it's going to be sore, come and see us. Have a nice day.